Hello, YouTube chat. That's a lot of people at once, damn. Hello, Western Llama. Hello, Corrupted. Hello, King. Hello, Lonely Snow. Hypocritical. Where's my... There we go, let me put this up. Just gotta make sure. I hope everyone enjoyed the episode this week. 'Twas a good one. I have my issues with it. I probably have the most issues with this episode than all of them so far. But it's all good. It was still a good episode. First time here, welcome, man. Regulus got negative riz. How do you know it didn't work, man? The episode ended. What if she was head over heels? You ever think about that? What are my thoughts on Subaru X Crush? It's not great. Hello, Pyro. I think anime onlys will have no issues. I mean, yeah. Look what they did to my... Look what they did to my dragon, man. She didn't get to do any cool shit. At first I didn't include it in the episode 4 video because I guess I didn't care enough at first, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, man, they really hoed Capella, didn't they? That sucks. Yeah, the fact that we actually got Al content in an episode of Rezero. Holy. And the Ellen mentions how her wings nearly bolt every... Yeah, I know. This episode felt like the perfect way to show previous cut content, but they didn't. I'm pretty sure they're setting up for it. It's gonna be an inevitability. To top 8 tweet about Al, guys, the streak, the no Al October streak has ended. Top 8 did tweet about Al. We finally got there. Do you think they'll reveal that Al was isekai this season? I hope so. I think it'll be episode 7. I won't get into specifics because obviously I don't want to spoil the poor little anime onlys here, but I think episode 7 will have it. It's interesting, like the Capella thing is so strange because for those that don't know, Capella in the novel, the way she shows up at that fight is Subaru's doing the whip thing against Kurgan, I think, and then Subaru gets knocked over by Ricardo and Krush because something bad's about to happen, and guess what? It's fucking black flames. And Capella comes around, she's flying around, and she's talking shit, and then it plays out like the episode does, kind of. I don't remember if she lands, or if she gets hit in the air, but the same events unfold regardless, more or less. Biggest issue on the visuals this season is how unsaturated the colors are. I don't know. I can understand if one thinks that the colors are kind of boring right now. I think that'll be something that happens later in the season. Are you a leaker just like Ice? No. I am not a leaker. I think we will see the landscape of Priestella change shortly, so I'm not too worried about it. But how you know about future eps? You can know about future episodes without being a leaker. There's a lot of promotional material about for season 3 that has a lot of different atmospheres and stuff. So I'm not really worried about that. It's just they're working on it. We'll get to that kind of environment eventually. Some say you might gaze at the stars for the next episode content. This is true. You up to date with the web novel? I am, but this is an anime-only safe space currently, so. There were actually there are very few people who realized that Al spoke English in this episode. It's pretty quick. I can't blame them. It's obviously more apparent when you read it. Because he says it pretty quickly. But he says advice in English. I got my Al radar. My Al sonar is tuned perfectly, so I picked it up on my watch immediately. Heard that Reinhardt shot was completely new. Is this true? Yes. It was something alluded to in the novels, but we never actually saw the scene. Really, they could have used one more episode for Volume 17? I mean, we have one more. Because Volume 17 is not over yet. Do you like the part in the episode where Subaru and Julius kissed with tongue? Yes, I did. That was probably the best part of the episode. I don't know why they got Nakamura on that, but, you know, that's fine. The Nakamura spit keeps were crazy. Yeah, Luma, the eggs are a light novel thing. Feel like it's a stupid scene. Reinhardt can take the knife in a second. Well, it's not about just taking the knife. Well, also, his dad is an Estrella, so it's not like he's completely talentless, right? And also, it's his dad. He doesn't want to hurt his dad. Is it true that Subaru got transported to the Shadow Garden when he was killed in Season 1, Episode 23? Dude, I do not remember events in episodes like that. I do not remember what happened in 23. I know he went to the Shadow Garden a lot. If Pyrrol says yes about the Shadow Garden, Pyrrol is right. So. that's Pyrrol's turf. The only episodes that I remember in terms of events are like 13, 15, 18, and Season 2, Episode 4. Do you think we're gonna get a second OP and ending for Core 2? Absolutely, yes, I do. Is Arc 6 gonna be adapted in Season 3? Yeah. Hello, LMP. The episode was peak. I think it was my least fave though. I love the. This episode was fucking awesome. Wasn't my favorite. I get what you mean though, by the way. Because I agree with you. The ending song doesn't slap in my opinion. You will be killed soon. Rate your favorite episode of Rezero, episode 18. Chat, is this the week? Is this the week where we finally add the pride flag to the office? Or is somebody gonna come up with a new idea? Did you do a ranking of the openings and endings? I did not know. Julius was in this episode a lot. It's time. I know this is a bad question. You've probably been asked this constantly, but what's your favorite arc? It's not a bad question, but yes, I have been asked it a lot. It's a tie between 6 and 4. Love Julius serving cunt to Capella. Wish we would have at least gotten the Roy catching the whip in his mouth scene. I mean, it's probably next week. 8 was your least favorite? Least favorite's a strong word. I have the most issues with 8. When you're making a character tier list, I made one a while ago, but I'll probably make a new one as a video during the core break. Alright guys, what should we add to the office this week? I'm already gonna put pride flag on there because I know everyone wants the pride, or not everyone, but a lot of people want the pride flag. So, start a poll. Office item for the week. Pride flag. What do you think of new character designs and also censorships? About the second part, don't care. About the first part, they're good, yeah. Pride flag, blue curtains. Add a picture of Julius and Subaru kissing. It represents the pride flag and won't cause people to start crying in chat. I want them to start crying in chat about the pride flag so that they can get shot. In a metaphorical sense, I mean. In-game. In Minecraft, they get shot. Alright, only two options this week. Here we go. Also, Paro, I like how you're like, that one Julius and Subaru kissing art I sent you. I was like, dude, you think I just, like, know exactly where that was in my mind? You think I saved that image? Because I didn't. Damn, I really wanted to have a web novel talk. We have a web novel talk at the end of every stream. Sort by media. I don't know how to do that. Can you do that on PC? I don't think you could do that. I can search by like embed, but that's it. I know this is off topic, but are you caught up with Kagurabachi? Yes. Yes, I am. Pride flag, overwhelming victory. Wow. Are you caught up with Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi? Unfortunately. Yes, I am. Alright, hang on, chat. I gotta move you guys to the side real quick. Don't mind this. That's where the pride flag's gonna go. Where's the fucking... Dude, my OBS timeline is becoming a fucking... tragedy. What's my favorite Rezero opening and ending? I don't know if I have one. I haven't really watched them like a lot of people have, where like they make tier lists and shit. Like people know them by name, I don't know them by name. Any fall anime that airing that you're excited about? No. I'm only watching ReZero. I watch Dan to Dan sometimes. Good afternoon, chat. Oh my god, there he is. Jesus. What took this fucking guy so long? Can we get a what took you so long in chat for Jordan today? What's your most favorite anime? ReZero? You're not checking out Blue Box? No, if you ask me why, I wouldn't really have a reason. I just am not. I mean, I already read it, so like, I don't know. I guess I don't feel that strongly about it. Is the dog on the channel profile picture holding a shawarma or a thick burrito? It's a thick burrito. What's the best 5 out of 10 anime for you? Jujutsu Kaisen on a good day. What was my first impression of ReZero? The first episode impressed me greatly. Thought it was great. And then, you know, I kept watching. And then it sucked, no. And now here I am. There we go. Who's your fave, Emilia or Rem or neither? Good god. Was it 2016? Emilia, by the way. If I had to pick between those two. We support gay people's rights in this chat. Not just their rights, but also their wrongs. Pick between Al and Prime Beetlejuice as, like, characters? You do know that. Al is my second favorite character in the story, right? Somebody asks, what are we adding to the shrine today? Do you notice how the pride flag just fits in so cleanly that he already thinks that it was a part of the set? It's just such a no-brainer. He was like, okay, well, what do we add this week? part of the season are you eager to watch? I cannot answer for spoiler purposes. I'm quite excited for one thing in Core 1, and there are quite a few things I'm excited for in Core 2. And there's one real big thing I'm excited for in Core 3, and there's a shit ton of things I'm excited for in Core 4. For an anime only, how important are the side stories to the anime's continuity? To the anime's continuity? Not at all. To answer the second part of your question, they will probably never be adapted. It depends. What is currently your favorite anime scene in Rezero Season 3 and overall? Overall, it's anything having to do with Episode 18. For Season 3, some of the scarf stuff has been pretty good. I liked Garf crying on the rooftop, and I also thought the Garf stuff in this week's episode was good. Did they ever explain Garfield's divine protection in the anime? I don't remember. A part of me wants to say no. Because, like, every time I'm like, oh, that should have been explained in the anime, someone's like, it wasn't. And I'm like, oh. And then every time I go, oh, this surely didn't make it into the anime, someone's like, no, it did. Jordan, where are you? If Jordan is not calling me in 60 seconds, his spot will forever be given up to Gyro. Holy shit, he got there in 3 seconds.
Yeah, that Gyro kid is not taking my spot.
That's crazy.
The
3
minute
seconds,
I heard that,
dude.
I
Holy
called
shit.
immediately. Definitely not. Hello chat. I am back once again.
Do you like our new edition of The Office, man?
Dude, I love it. It's beautiful. Somebody in chat asked, when are me and you becoming canon, dude? You know? I don't think they realize.
They don't know.
They don't know.
That shit's in side stories.
Oh man. Episode 4, man. Quite the priority, eh?
Alright, man.
Boy, do I have some choice words about this one.
Yeah.
I had to double check some things. I had to double check the staff list, make sure I was correct before I get to it. It'll be the last thing I speak on, because clearly we may need to temper / adjust. But before we get there, this week surprisingly has the most amount of notes I've taken since episode 1. Funny enough.
Mm-hmm.
Starting from the beginning, we're gonna start. But first off, I did enjoy the episode, all things considered. You know what I mean? I went into this episode questioning, what exactly does priority mean for Rezero? But we'll get to that at the end. Hey, what's up, chat? Good to see you guys. Hey, Titania. First things first. I'm sorry. First note, the first down, and parentheses, I have Mimi, and then divine protection trisection.
Yeah.
So first off, with the battles now kicking off, I expected, things to start kind of popping off left and right. I think Mimi going down, definitely a huge point for Garfield's arc. Elsa still haunting him, all that good stuff. Clearly, he wasn't on his A game in this fight. There were some moments of hesitation. Eventually he decided to retreat, but that wasn't enough to protect Mimi. I think the divine protection thing is cool among the siblings, for sure.
Wasn't that in season 1?
Yeah, dude. If it was, do not ask me.
Hey, Jordan, wasn't that in season 1?
Oh,
I'm pretty sure trisection was in season 1, no?
Was it in season 1? I actually don't remember, I'm gonna be honest.
I don't know how much they described it, but
I really don't think so. I feel like
Did they really not put it in the fucking anime, man?
I'm for real. I really don't recall hearing trisection till now. Like genuinely, chat saying they never mentioned it in
They
season one.
describe
I
it without
genuinely
label. I
probably
see.
then, if anything, I don't remember like yeah, trisection being a key word at least. I do not remember. But in season one, it's not there. Okay, yes, I'm not crazy. Yeah, you're not gaslighting me this week, buddy.
It's supposed to be in season 1. God
Oh
damn,
god,
dude.
another cut come back to haunt you, eh? Beautiful.
How long can this go on, man?
Dude, you got what, like 30 more weeks, 30 something more weeks, 32 more weeks, right?
Yeah, plus probably like fucking who knows, like 44 in terms of breaks.
Yeah. Oof, buddy. Buddy. I better hunker down, chat. Y'all got a long ride. But I like this first part. The action in the first part of the episode was pretty solid. I kind of like somehow the camera work and the layout was kind of brought to life here. It was a combination effort of Hamill and Yuting Huang, I believe is the name. So that was a pretty good cuts there. Pretty good little, split between Garfiel getting his one-on-one and Mimi doing her little air blast or whatnot. But yeah, good start to the episode. Already getting some injuries out there. So the stakes are already there. Like I mentioned a couple of streams ago now, we can't just magically go back and reset things, right? The situation is going to be ongoing. So whatever happens, I assume it is going to happen and it will stay that way, right? As we push towards the end of the episodes each week. Number 2, interesting point here. I'm really liking how they're doing this. I have father versus son benching the omnipotence.
Yeah.
So clearly, if Reinhardt was out on the field, right, I think this situation could be handled within the hour, maybe 2 hours at most, right? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Reinhardt has it wrapped up before lunch.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what I mean? And comparisons to Gojo aside, it'd be the equivalent of if Gojo pulled up the Shibuya, and if there wasn't a prison realm / Kenjaku in Geto's body, it would have been handled easily. Shibuya wouldn't have not occurred. But he's held up. Surprisingly, he is held up. Hey Jordan, how do you feel about Julius and Subaru kissing with the tongue? 10 out of 10. Nakamura on that sequence was in fact pretty peak. I think that was a great use of his time, and he needs to stay here for every sequence like that. Forget MHA. So yeah, Reinhardt's held up. About this whole Austria, what he used, the family ascension, essentially, all that good stuff. The future of the family, all that good stuff. I think this is actually a pretty clever way to remove Reinhardt from the equation and get a secondary plot line also moving at the same time for this season. Obviously, I can't tell if, Heinkel's fully bluffing or not with hurting Feld. I think she'll be fine because Reinhardt's not going to move. I think that before we pulled away from Reinhardt when Felt was telling him to go, he's not going to go. I genuinely think he's going to stay there the entire time unless something else, destroys the building and gives him a point of opportunity to make a move. You know what I mean? Because I think you mentioned it earlier, why did Reinhardt not just, disarm his father?
Yeah.
It's his father.
It's his dad, man.
Yeah, and not only that, I'm pretty sure he's sober in this moment too. So it's not going to be
sober moment.
It's not going to be an easy 1, 2, 3 ABC situations handled. Last thing Reinhardt's going to do is risk a royal candidate in this situation. So he's probably going to be disarmed for majority of this arc, I would assume. Now, we're already on 4, pushing into 5. I don't know when Reinhardt will be able to move again. I expect that we won't see him, though, for the next 2 weeks, if anything. And if we do see him, it'll be kind of, fleshing out this whole beef he has with his dad, but it's not going to be him moving onto the battlefield. Because, again, I expect Reinhardt to appear on the battlefield when it's pretty much pushing towards episodes 7 and 8. You know what I mean? I think that's only when he will get back on the battlefield. But I do think it's a very clever way to remove somebody so strong from the equation. You know what I mean? It's no ceiling, none of that mind control.
You got him tied up in family drama.
Yeah, tied up in family drama. It's a good way to utilize both plot lines with Felt being present as a royal candidate. and then the beef between the family, all in one go. You know what I
And
mean? Very,
yeah,
very good stuff.
and it's like Reinhardt is not the kind of guy to have particularly high self-esteem. He does not think very
Right.
highly of himself. He's not gonna go out there and just like fight his dad, because
Yeah.
his dad will probably speak some words, and Reinhardt will be like, "Man, maybe I am an asshole in this situation for like no reason."
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I could tell by the way he was wavering and the
Did he
facial
only give
expressions.
two?
He's very indifferent on a lot of things right
Yeah.
now, with Wilhelm there and now father there, and it's just like, man, and you get this whole thing about Theresia and everything from the past. It's a mess. He's a mess right now. I think him and Garfield being both, these kind of symbols of strength, having their weaknesses this season, very good approach,
Mhm.
especially when so much is at stake here. So we'll put that on the side for now, but like that part of the episode a lot. I think that was a very interesting development, especially to happen now, because in my
Yeah.
mind, I'm thinking to myself, even with Reinhardt not showing up to battle serious, put him in the equation. They're basically just walking down the steps, one bishop after another, till the situation is solved. And that does make me curious to see how he ends up rendezvousing. If going along with my theory about how he's helping Subaru, I'm curious to see how and when he will rendezvous with Subaru if they do end up teaming up to fight Regulus. But still a theory, so on the air, we'll leave it at that. Number 3, the remains must remain. In parentheses, I have Typhoon lore, and then in a dash below that, I'm sorry, Typhon. Why did I say Typhoon? No, my bad. Typhon lore, and then the mystery of Al grows. So, oh, geez. I was not expecting the city to basically have the equivalent of a nuclear bomb under its location, but this is tough because they physically can't move the remains to give them to the witch cult. So the only thing they can do is to retaliate. I am curious to see though, who is this witch, because it's not Typhon. You know what I mean? Well, at least I understand it's not Typhon. Based off the design of what we saw underwater, it doesn't look like to be Typhon.
No, it's Typhon.
Oh, it is Typhon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, wait. Okay, so that trips me out. Okay, let me tell you why. Actually, wait. Give me a second. Actually, my mother is calling me. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
Tell her I
chat.
said hi.
Everybody pause. Okay, everybody pause.
It does look exactly like Typhon, I'm pretty sure. I think. Wait, why are the memberships going? Did it like break? Whatever. I mean, it's going through.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so right. So here's my thing about the mystery of Al Grows, right? Typhon died like 15 years ago. You know what I mean? Hundreds of years ago. But Al was able to accurately recite the fact that that was an event, that occurred. The drowning of Typhon. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just interesting because I'm like, I thought those things were kind of like, like the events of how things kind of went down were kind of lost, or like word of mouth isn't as common to find about how these things occur. You know what I mean?
Status.
So it's interesting to see that Al knows. You know what I mean? Especially when I think he told me that he came into this whole world years before. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like,
actually 19 years ago now, I guess. Somewhere around there.
Yeah, 19 years ago. So it's like, man, like what is this dude's backstory, man? Like what does this dude know? What has he been through? What shit has he seen, man? You know what I mean? What secrets to the world does he know? It's interesting to see how you have such a, you visibly can't see his face. It kind of can be interpreted as like, a man of many secrets type thing. You know what I mean? And I'm curious to see what else does Al know? But that was interesting. So it pretty much, the situation has changed now. They have no choice but to fight. And get him out of the city. And I'm also curious to see now. I know we're on kind of a defense / counterattack section, and then we go on the offense. Does this entire conflict take place in this city? Because if it does, I can see how the setting will definitely get pretty insane and destroyed over time. I don't see the witches having a reason to leave either. If that ends up being the case, and if that's the case, then Core 2 is going to be ridiculous, because I can just imagine the scale of destruction and combat turning absolutely insane, especially if Reinhardt enters the fray. At that point, it's all hands, being thrown. It's on loose. You know what I mean? But we'll wait and see. You know, again, I don't see the witches leaving unless Reinhardt's
Yeah.
presence causes them. Not the witches. I'm sorry, the archbishops. I don't
Yeah.
see the archbishops leaving unless Reinhardt takes the field.
Did you
But if he,
did you pick up on Al speaking English in this episode?
I did not.
A
He
lot of
speaks
people
English?
missed it. A lot of people missed it. I'm a little surprised. Very many people
Whoa,
missed it
hold on.
because he says the word advice in English. But I guess it flows by so fast that a lot of people just didn't notice.
Is it the part where they're in the alleyway, right?
It's when he's about to tell Subaru about gluttony.
Right, yeah, don't say the name, right?
Yeah, don't say your real name.
Oh, you're right. He does
Yeah.
say advice.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me look at you.
That shit.
Yeah, he sure does. Wow,
that
I
shit
did not
slipped
clock
under
that.
everyone's radar apparently.
I did not catch that. Hold on, let me actually add
Yeah.
that.
It is very
Ow.
easy to miss with the cadence that he speaks at. It was very easy to miss, but you know me, dude. You know me.
English. Oh yeah, I know. You're locked in every time he's on screen. Dude.
Yeah.
Every breath he inhales and exhales. You know, you get the word count and everything. It's insane.
It's an interesting change because in these scenes where Al is speaking English, in the novel, Subaru is also speaking English to him. But because of the anime continuity,
right,
they don't do that.
They have to strip that. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's so unlucky, man. That's so unlucky. I'm gonna keep that in my notes actually. Al English speaking. Put that question mark for now.
In this continuity, it makes it really strange that Subaru hears an English word and doesn't think about it.
Right. Oh, you know, that is, man, that's so unfortunate, man. Like,
Yeah.
there's just so many interesting thoughts and avenues to go down
Yeah.
that, like, I can't speak on until you tell me they exist. And then I'm like, dude, why is this not in the anime, man? This is actually interesting stuff.
That's why I'm holding out. That's the way I see it is like, if you're not going to do the Al reveal, I don't think you keep all this shit in, right? Like,
right. Yeah.
You wouldn't have him bringing up Typhon. You wouldn't have him saying advice in English. You wouldn't have him talking about gluttony. Like, you would just cut it to make room for, I don't know, Emilia being cute or something.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I'll definitely keep that in mind then. Especially as we push towards episode 7. Let's see here. 4th point. The gulp. Capella is going to be a pain in the ass. Yeah, dude. She's shaping up to be quite the provoking antagonist, especially now that she's got hostages.
Yeah.
I'm you know, she clearly, when Garfield broke through, she's clearly in charge. I want to assume that she's kind of in charge of these 2 individuals that dealt the blow with Mimi and kind of hit Garfield up a little bit. I don't think she's going to be easy to kill at all, especially getting towards the end of the episode. And I guess I can mention this now, but it seems that with the dragon, she can take over the dragon. I don't, unless she was the dragon. You know what I mean? In the opening, I get a different vibe because in the opening you see all her creatures, and then she's sitting on the dragon. But in the anime, it comes off as if she is the dragon herself, transformed into the dragon. I want to assume that perhaps she can take over the conscience of any monster she can create. Perhaps maybe like transfer in and out of body or whatnot. You know, I still haven't seen her power fully outside of the fact that she can clearly create maybes and clearly control them, at least at large. Again, I still think that she probably is that dragon in this sense. So I want to say she can transform into them as well. But I doubt that she's going to be an easy kill for as long as there is Maybeast on the ground. And that is going to be really interesting, especially with her being able to supposedly fly and all this good stuff too. It's going to be a tough fight to get her out the way.
Did you watch my video this week, or did you not get to it?
So I watched it. I stopped that cut content for just until after the stream because I want to make sure that I don't spoil myself on a theory. If you hear a theory or anything and you know that you said it in the cut content, don't hesitate to tell me to like not watch it until end of season. I'll come back to it. Gladly come back to it.
There was one thing cut about Capella that's very disappointing. It's nothing like groundbreaking. It was just like her doing cool shit. The way that she's introed in the episode or in that scene in the novel is, it's after Subaru whips that cultist guy. Ricardo and Krush push Subaru out of the way because something big is coming, and there's a big plume of black fire that rains down on the square here. And then Capella lands, and she's like flying, or she doesn't land, sorry, she's flying around talking shit the whole time.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why did they cut? Oh, hold on, dude. I gotta pull back up the staff list again. Now it's gonna piss me off. This is gonna piss me off, dude. Why did they cut that? That's so cool, bro. Her intro is so basic in comparison.
It was really cool, yeah. There was a lot more scrapping in the novel version of this episode. A lot more.
Okay, I got the staff list pulled back up because now I gotta talk about Mr. Monster Animation Director Keotaro Chiba now, because now that makes me okay. Okay. Wow, that's actually really frustrating. I mean, again, I get it. I get why they cut stuff, but man, that's kind of a raw intro you kind of cut out, man. You know, like this, this is people's first introduction to see what this character can really do. We didn't even see her face last week. We only saw her like speak through the mic, and now that would have been a really intimidating way to introduce her character. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Damn. Kind of an L cut, but what's done is done. I guess. Let's see here. Number 5, Garfield must break through. So
he's having a terrible day, man.
He's having a terrible time, dude.
He's getting fucking ragdolled. Everything is going wrong.
I mean, mom don't remember him. Gotta look at his stepfather, essentially, I guess. Or father. I don't even know. Stepfather? Father-in-law? I don't know. You gotta look at that guy, the new guy in the block, basically. Gotta accept him as, the new guy taking care of his mom. Got step siblings, you know what I mean? And then Elsa's haunting him and all that good stuff. Now Mimi's hurt. This is going to serve as a very triumphant arc for Garfield if he manages to succeed in not only taking down who he needs to take down, but rescuing the children. Yeah, half siblings. There we go. My bad, chat. My bad. Half siblings. This is going to be a lot for him. I'm looking forward to his arc. I think his arc is definitely shaping up to be the most potent this season in terms of satisfaction and writing. Because he's suffering, man. He's big time suffering. But thanks to the words of everybody else, he's back on his feet. But I'm curious to see how Teppei navigates his breakthrough, because it's clear that Elsa, and the fact that that was the first person that he's really had to kind of kill, at least as far as I know of, at least, you know what I mean? It's haunting him, and like her words are haunting him too, from the mansion, all that good stuff. Their last little scrap. So I'm curious to see what that will bring. So I'm moving his arc to the top of the list right now, with Reinhardt being the second. Now this point is very interesting to me, and this is when the theories are going to start coming in. Okay. Wilhelm and the God of Death, Divine Protection.
Yeah.
Now I couldn't help but notice this episode that when looking at Mimi's wound, he looked at it as if he were to. He not only looked at it, but he spoke on it as if it was something that he recognized.
Yeah.
He also put his arm on his shoulder, I believe, his left shoulder.
Yes.
To recognize, to kind of symbolize the fact that this is something that he's seen before.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, so that's the foreshadowing of what I'll get to. Because I'll go ahead and mention this both at one time. So that's the first thing that kind of caught my attention. The second thing that caught my attention was another point. It's my 8th point. Who is the wonder duo that the main crew is having to fight? And when Wilhelm was starting to fight this woman, right, this woman witch, her sword style, or this person's sword style, was quite sharp to match Wilhelm blow for blow. And then he goes and says, I knew it. You know what I mean? Now, I couldn't remember what Theresia looks like, because it's been a long time since I've seen Theresia in the anime. So I took to Google and looked at 2 of her outfits. One was her flashback outfit from when they were young. The other was a more common outfit that she was wearing. And I couldn't help but notice that if you go back to the episode and look at the point where they both clash, let me go back to it myself, actually. When Wilhelm clashes with her and all that good stuff, hold on, I'm watching the episode right now. So they do 1, 2, 3, and then they connect right here, and then there's a pause, right, where Wilhelm goes, "So it's true." On the arm that's behind her, okay, it's a white glove, and then it's a pink kind of like an end of like what would be like a shirt or like a corset or something. I'm not sure. But that same color is also on Theresia's outfit in the image that I saw.
Mm.
So now I am at the question. Did they bag Theresia's dead body? Because if so, that is some dirty ass work, bro.
There's some
To
cut
bring
content
her.
here.
Okay.
I think I told you this before, so you might remember when I start telling you.
Okay.
At the end of Arc 3, technically around the start of Arc 4, before Subaru and Wilhelm separate, Wilhelm starts to talk to Subaru about how there's a wound on his shoulder that has reopened.
Okay.
That wound was created by the divine protection of the Death God, which was the divine protection of Theresia.
Oh no. Dude, this is nasty. No, man. So they Sugaru'd Theresia. Oh, dude, this is gonna be a tough arc. Oh god.
You think the Garf crash out's bad, dude? What about the Estrella family crash out is coming?
Dude, who's gonna have that? So are they gonna make? Oh man, dude, no, wait. So who's gonna kill her then? Are they gonna make Wilhelm kill her this time, quote unquote? You know what I mean? Or oh god, that's a tough matchup to put against, man. That's real rough. That's oh man. I hope that Will is able to handle it before Reinhardt makes his way, because I think that would really make Reinhardt's spirit break even more if that's the case. That is a tough like cool tough writing decision. But damn, is it rough for the family drama. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. It's one of those things where if you don't know about the cut content, it's a lot harder to infer. But if you know that one cut from Arc 3, you're like, oh, it's her. Like, it's definitely her.
Oh my gosh, man. This is gonna be rough, man. I might have to put a red flag on Will, man. I might have to. Because I feel like he's gonna hesitate when it matters most. And they might boom him out of the story. Oh man, let me okay. Red flag. Oh god, man. On Will.
He's marking the flags down right now. He's updating his list as we speak.
I'm putting flag number 2, Chad. Mimi's 1, Will's number 2. I want to imagine that Will have the conviction to stand on business even in this tough moment, but that whole family is in the shitter right now. So anything goes, man. Anything actually goes. That's tough, man. Really cool detail, really cool inclusion, especially when the family plot line is, amping up to be a really heavy plot line this season for all of them. But that is tough. That's tough. So yeah, okay. My 7th point, I skipped over to 8, but my 7th point, it's actually 3 things. I have factions will still be factions. Then I have I'll split off in parentheses combat potential, and then in all caps, don't say the name. So starting from the beginning, these even with the situation going on, everybody is still on their own teams, no matter what. Krush is probably more cooperative than most. But Subaru had initially mentioned, his focus was coming off as if it were to be on Emilia, right? And they kind of called him out on that, but he yielded. You know what I mean? He was like, that's what I would like to say, but he yielded. However, Al still stepped away because Al has to go get Priscilla, and that makes more sense because it's interesting because even though Subaru yielded to the situation, Al still had to go do what he has to do. And I'm curious to see if we will see any combat from Al, maybe anime original content. I don't know if there is any, of him making his way to Priscilla. I imagine Priscilla will be fine based off that OP cut. But I am curious to see how Al fights, because Subaru did mention to Al that he has no idea how he does fight.
Yeah,
I'm curious too.
When he turned to him, he was like, "Wait, can you even fight?"
Yeah, I was like, "Dude, Subaru, I do not think you understand. I doubt Priscilla would just pick up anybody off the street. You know what I mean? Al's definitely got that dog in him. To what extent? I've got no clue. You know what I mean? But that weapon he carries around clearly is meant to get some clean slices off. You know what I mean? So I'm excited. I'm excited for Al. The most important thing, though, from Al, outside of the fact that he departed to go regroup with Priscilla, is don't say the name. And so this actually made me pause and go back to season 2, episode 1 while I was watching to just to confirm that Lai and Roy are 2 different people.
Yes.
Okay, so Roy is the one that ambushed in season 2, right? Or was that Lai?
I believe that was Lai.
Okay. My bad. So if that's the case, I would assume that the one that appeared at the end of the episode, Roy doesn't know Subaru's name, right? I would assume, unless the brothers share memories or whatnot, I would assume that that he doesn't know Subaru's name, and so I'm curious to see how they go about, protecting each other's names when they fight, because they don't want to say each other's names out loud. First off,
yeah.
I think that everybody has to have kind of a code name of such, and I think most importantly, it's going to be important to make sure that that Lai doesn't come into contact with Subaru just for precautionary sake, because technically, if you go back and watch season 2, episode 1, Ram does mention Subaru's name, right? Now, granted, of course, he can't put a face to a name quite yet, but it still doesn't change the fact that Subaru has potential danger in this sense. If Lai were able to connect the dots by chance, but the odds of that happening are, it can be anything. It's up in the air. I'm curious to see where Lai is right now. I assume that he's chasing down Otto, or Otto's giving him the work, one or the other. It's either or. Again, if Otto's giving him the work, then Pyro, I do apologize about my Otto comment. I will write you a written apology in DMs. But I'm curious to see how this plays out from here, because that came at the end of the episode. And this pretty much sets off into the split offs begin, because now everybody is pretty much splitting off into their own separate battles. You know what I mean? We have Julius, Subaru, and Krush going to deal with Roy now. Wilhelm's fighting Theresia. Garfield is fighting 8 arms, I believe he had total now. 8 arms total. I could be wrong. Yeah, 8 arms. Mimi's down. Al went to go split off to Priscilla. No idea where Priscilla is. No idea where Liliana is either. No idea where Anastasia is. What her plan is to contribute to the group. So, all hands are on deck. Everybody is pretty much doing their own things now. I'm curious to see how we proceed into next week, especially because right now it seems to be that the focus is dealing with Lust first. It seems to be. Yeah. I don't know about the rest of them. I don't know about Sirius, or how Sirius will come into play. I don't know about when Lai will come into play. But right now, it is pretty much a combo of Roy and Lust versus everyone, essentially. And the Wonder Duo versus everybody, essentially. So, good little first half being set up here. I don't know if I should expect any momentum changes with anybody else entering the fray, or when anybody else will enter the fray, but we'll see. And then, speaking of that, my last point, or I guess my last anime point before I talk about priority stuff, Emilia's situation. So, I'm not gonna lie, at first, I did side-eye at first. I was like, where the clothes go, man? But then, when Regulus asked her if she was a virgin, I kind of assumed that maybe it was the ladies that were with Regulus in the opening, maybe just, kind of laid her bare in the bed and all that good stuff. Don't know. I guess Regulus is a man of purity, quote unquote, in his own hypocritical way. So I guess that's why he asked if she was a virgin, all that good stuff. Interesting situation she's in. I guess that for her own sake, she's most likely going to have to play to survive. You know what I mean? Otherwise, her head's going to go flying, because I do not think Emilia will have the facilities to deal with her mother's killer, essentially, damn near. Outside of, technically not, but, one of the people who were complicit in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Given, he was the reason why Petal Geese had to become Petal Geese. So, yeah, based Regulus for not taking... Okay, bro. Okay, Rami. Okay. But yeah, a lot of situations set up right now. We've got three main situations set up right now: Emilia situation, Reinhardt situation, and then the main company situation. I'm very curious to see where we go now because there's a lot at stake here, man. Like the stakes just keep adding on like Lego blocks every week, man. And I can't see this all getting resolved so peacefully, man. I feel like I genuinely feel like the atmosphere that was displayed in the trailer with the city just absolutely devastated will come to fruition. I just don't know what episode it'll be or what will be the trigger for such widespread devastation to take place. Will the city actually get fucked? You know what I mean? Like, and to what extent? You know, do these witches, or what do I keep calling them witches? Do these archbishops have a contingency plan to still wreck the city for the sake of retrieving the remains? Or will one of them actually get to the remains, if need be, and they ended up causing a devastational spread that, you know, puts Anastasia in the worst spot imaginable ever.
Ain't no party like a Regulus party, man.
Dude, I'm curious, man, to see what this wedding will all be about and how they confront him. But I assume that won't be till core 2. And speaking of core 2, chat, let's talk about what priority means for Rezero, okay?
Yes, dear.
Here's the thing, chat, okay? I do not want to approach the Rezero's teams. I don't want to approach ReZero team's idea of a priority like how I approach other anime, right? With My Hero Academia, for example, right, it's very different because this is going on a 10-year journey with the anime, right? And we are all familiar of what a priority episode means because we are familiar with the staff, specifically the storyboarders and the episode directors, if anything, to understand what a priority episode means. And 9 times out of 10 for MHA's case, right, it comes to fruition, right? Ida and Todoroki episode, that's priority episode. The proof is there as clear as day. Now, when I did my research on ReZero's staff for episode 4, I took my time with it. I went through every single key animator that was listed as reported by the by Lorem on Twitter. And then I went through the chief ADs and the monster animation director, and then Hamill being action animation director this week as well. But the main things I paid attention to, chat, were the storyboarder and the episode director, right? Now that's what I was saying, Isopium. I'm not going to compare Bones and White Fox. I'm navigating this differently because I'm not familiar with White Foxes.
I was gonna say his opening statement was he's not gonna come at it like it's a Bones priority episode.
Yeah. I don't think it's fair to approach a series the same when it comes to the idea of priority because it's different for every studio and it's different for every team. You know what I mean? My most familiar when it comes to priority episodes is MHA because I'm familiar with MHA's production now very highly. ReZero is different from me. I'm coming into a very new understanding for ReZero's expectations, right? So, with that being said, the main things I paid attention to going into this episode was the storyboarder and the episode director, and the fact that Hamill was appointed or was given the opportunity to be the action animation director this episode, right? The thing about the storyboarder, as far as I can see, checking across 3 different sources and websites, of course, that houses information, this is the storyboarder is Yasuaki Fuji. This is his ReZero debut. He's been on Mushoku Tensei, and he's been on a couple other series that I've seen over the years. This is his ReZero debut. So I couldn't necessarily predict what should I expect as far as things like action, stuff like that. As far as the episode director, this is not a new person for ReZero, at least, as far as I understand. They've done a couple episodes of ReZero, specifically 9, 5, 20, and a couple other episodes as well. I think 39, 44, 47, and you know they've been around for quite a bit over the couple of years. So they have a track record, but I do not believe that any of their track record is that would insinuate the idea of like high action and stuff like that. So I then looked at Hamill and I was like, okay, Hamill is action animation director, right? But the thing is that when somebody is in action animation director role, they oversee a lot of stuff and control that flow behind the scenes, right? I
Yeah.
don't, there's already been confirmed that Hamill has done a couple of things on the episode, right? He did the cut with Yuting, with Garfield and Mimi initially going in, and then right now he's been credited for the Julius cut with his flame attack, right?
Mhm.
There's still a couple of more cuts on the episode that have not been confirmed. They'll be confirmed probably by the end of the evening, or early tomorrow at most.
Yeah.
But I will have to say though that in terms of Hamill's participation on episode 2 in comparison to this week, I like his episode 2 stuff more. I think his solo
Yeah, I
Emilia
agree.
cut blows everything out of the water on this one episode. You know what
I
I
agree,
mean?
yeah.
And that's not, to shit on anybody's work this episode. Everything was still moving fine, fabric movement, hair movement,
Mhm.
still body movement, some nice little camera work here and there across the episode. I think Hamill did his job supervising the action to make sure the action turned out pretty fluent, all things considered. I think he definitely did his job there 100%. My thing is then, what exactly makes this episode a priority episode outside of the fact that everything was consistent? Because I don't think there was anything that was particularly stand out. I think that if anything, the dragon stuff
I was gonna
probably
say,
could have been what made this episode a little bit more unique,
yeah.
because you had Keitaro Chiba as a monster animation director, but the most that he did, I'm sure, was probably oversee everything from the rooftop to Priscilla, or I'm not Priscilla, I'm sorry. From the moment Capella appeared on the rooftop till she disappeared, that was probably overseen by him for the most part for the
Mhm.
entirety of the entirety of the episode. But I'm like, could Hamill and Keitaro have worked together to produce that cut content? And that's a possibility we'll never know. You know what I mean? Realistically, of course, this is all headcanon chat. Don't take my idea as, this is more headcanon, you know what I mean? Because again, we also have to take into account of time constraints and what the episode would and would not have allowed, right? Obviously, things are gonna get, we're gonna get cut, and the dragon stuff was cut. But the thing I want to establish kind of off the bat is that when people hear priority episode, they immediately set their expectations kind of high because of how priority episodes are set across, for at least the shonen genre, 9
Mhm.
times out of 10. You know what I mean? When people hear priority for JJK, their expectations are high, and they're rightfully so. When people hear priority for MHA, they're rightfully high for, and rightfully so. You know what I mean? When I think about priority episodes for Isekai, I can only come across certain episodes across so many different shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mainly from Mushoku Tensei with their Turning Point episodes. You know what I mean? Those are pretty much proof from the pudding, because all 3 Turning Point episodes were fantastic. From a presentational standpoint. I could talk about Shield Heroes priority episodes. All 3 of them were fantastic. You know what I mean? I don't know how deep people should read into the fact that, like how people should navigate the idea of priority for Rezero. I think that people should kind of really temper the idea until we really get like a bar set, because I don't think this episode set a bar.
No,
Again,
which is what confuses me.
uh
The fact that this was a priority, and I'm wondering, like, why?
yeah.
Was it literally
Yeah, like,
just Capella's existence?
Yeah, like I'm curious to see, like I think I would be curious to know, what was the guy's name who reported it to be a priority episode? It was like Ice or something like that.
Yeah, it was Ice, but I've also heard the same thing. So
Yeah. I'm curious to know, like, do they know why this was episode considered a priority? Because again, I agree that, like, the camera movement and the layout of the fights this episode was pretty solid. With some of the camera movement is a little dynamic, a little bit more spread out, with Garfield and Mimi and stuff like that. But that's like stuff that, like, I can't necessarily harp on too much. I think it's cool that the layouts were the way they were laid out. You know what I mean? Especially in like a 2-on-2, making sure that the scene feels spread out and not clustered, especially when both of them were taking on separate opponents. But I'm curious to see what exactly did make this episode a priority, because it doesn't seem like a bar was essentially set. I think a lot of people actually walked out this episode a little disappointed because they set their expectations a little higher than
It's
usual
it's
and
weird
walked
because
out.
like
Mhm.
we saw episode 2 already, and we knew that
Yeah.
was not Prio. So when we
Mhm.
hear that when we hear that the 4th episode is Prio, we're like, oh, well, episode 2 wasn't priority. So
Yeah.
like, what's that gonna mean? And then you get
Yeah.
action sequences, which I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I think some of the action sequences in the episode were pretty good, but I don't think they were as
Yeah.
good as Emilia versus Sirius. I think that was like a really fucking well animated sequence.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think so. I think that's definitely the bar for in terms of season 3. That is the bar so far.
Mm-hmm.
That is the bar so far, and it only makes it more painful when you realize that that was pretty much done by. It was a 36-second sequence done solely by Hamill.
Yeah.
The entire thing was done solely by Hamill.
So
So I'm like, when you put Hamill in a more supervising position this time, but you still don't get anything that necessarily equates to his own solo cut, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, what are we looking at here?
and it's like people kept telling me, "Oh, well, maybe priority means consistency," and okay, that's fair. And
Yeah, that's fair.
I would say this episode is maybe a bit more consistent than 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Enough to call it priority? I don't know.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. And that's what I worry about because I'm worried about the Rezero community hearing the word priority and then not tempering because and quite frankly, and this is my last point of the
Yeah.
my talk here for the week, tempering expectations, focus on the staff, not the mention of priority. Because when I was doing personal research on the staff, nothing really struck me as this may be impressive outside of the fact that Hamill was appointed or given the
Yeah.
role of action animation director. All the key A's were solid. A lot of them were from JJK and One Piece, doing some of JJK's and One Piece's most ambitious, you know what I mean? But I couldn't gauge the storyboarder because this is his Rezero debut.
Mhm.
And the chief animation directors and all that good stuff, they've been here since episode 1 now. You know what I mean? So I didn't really expect much different in that position. And then it's funny because I was typing to you in DMs. Remember when I was saying at first that there was one thing I would change, but then I backed off of it. I was like, you know what? It's
Yeah.
perfect. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
the one thing, if anything, I would have changed, knowing this episode was so action heavy, might have been the director of the episode. Might
Yeah.
have been. Because Hiroyuki's most action episode that I can think about is the climax of Emilia's with when she was, spazzing out with the whole die, die, die. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That was the most action thing that I could recall based off his catalog. I may be overlooking something because I checked, a couple days ago and I wrote that down. But that's the most impressive thing that came to mind for me in terms of action. So I'm like, was the director maybe the best call for this type of action oriented episode? But again, I think that might be stepping into egregious territory because they still did fine. I don't
Yeah.
want to shame anybody's work or anything like that. You know what I mean? Everybody did fine. This was a very fine episode, irregardless. I just think
Yeah.
that when people hear priority and set their expectations high because they hear priority, knowing it's been so long, knowing that we have all these art upgrades and all this good stuff, I feel like people are going to walk away disappointed. And I think people need to start to really kind of temper expectations
It's like I know I
before
said
we
this.
reach core 2.
I know I said this to you in DMs. I don't remember if I said this on stream or not. I probably did. This episode was basically going to be my benchmark because we've seen non-Prio. Now I wanted to see Prio. Now I've seen Prio. Now I know that at least for Core 1, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know how much action, how much more action we should expect from here. I don't know how intensive it is or how much they might work with choreography because I know like Wilhelm is very much a choreography person with the sword. You know what I mean? But I don't know how Capella's fight may turn out. I don't know how this fight with Roy may turn out. You know what I mean? I don't know what Garfield's going to be doing. I don't know how Otto's going to be doing. I don't know what to expect. And I guess it's going to come down to a case by case basis for these last 4 episodes for Core 1, especially as we, essentially cross things off the bucket list.
Yeah.
I think it's Taipei's involvement being that he's a supervisor of the season.
Script supervisor.
I don't know how fair that is to say because Kubo is very much involved in Bleach's production and we're getting like anime original fights. You know what I mean? So it's like, how much can we really put any blame on Taipei here? I think the most important thing to see, first off, is going to be post Core 1. Do we get any animators to speak out about what happened doing Rezero? Was it all fine and dandy? Was there anything that got trimmed down? I saw somebody in chat say that there were some things that got cut that probably related to the dragon. Did anybody's layout get cut down? Was there any behind the scenes crunch that caused certain scenes to end up not the original vision? Was any of Hamill's cuts cut down? You know what I mean? Jason Yao style, like MHA. That's the first thing we need to know. You know what I mean? That's the first thing I want to know, at least per postseason or post core 1.
I want to make it clear too that like episode was still good, by the way.
Yeah,
it's just
definitely, yeah.
It's just if you are aware that it's a priority episode, you're gonna go in going like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? Like, oh damn.
Yeah.
And then nothing really happens. That's like, it's a consistently good episode because the other episodes are also good, and it just feels like any other episode. And you're just like, oh okay, well. I mean, I thought the bit with Garf and Ricardo versus the multiple armed guy, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
And obviously the Capella regeneration was very good.
Yeah, definitely. That was very detailed. Very, very detailed little sequence there. I think that the little, like, Julius's kind of like the animation they kind of gave him, like as he was conjuring his spell below Capella, you know, that was solid. You know, good fabric movement, all that good stuff. The spells and all that good stuff. Like I said, I think that what somebody said in chat, like the episode was a little bit more dynamic, is a very spot on thing, especially with the camera movement, because there were certain angles and stuff that were approached this way this episode, you know, like when Garfield was running and the person started chasing after them, the way when Cruz threw her slash and like the camera did kind of like a circular movement before it came into contact, and then you know there were a couple of things that kind of caught my eye. You know
what's also weird is that like every good action sequence we've already seen in the trailers, man.
yeah, that is true. That is actually a good point now that I think about it. Because 5 through 8 are pretty much going to be like completely blind for everybody for the most part, I think, at this point. I don't think there's anything else from the trailer. I mean, aside of like a little scene from Capella, I think, with like
there's
her
a couple.
And that good stuff.
Yeah, there's a couple from 5 max.
Yeah, I think that now we're really treading into to unknown territory here, and I think that's going to be something that people really pay attention to. Going forward, because if they hype up priority again, you know, I'm just like, what does that mean? You know, I expect maybe the finale of the season, you know, maybe priority with this whole, you know, grand speech talk, maybe. You know, I don't know what to expect. I really don't know. I need to see how core 1 ends before we can really start talking about gauging core 2. I know that core 2 is supposed to be a lot more action heavy in comparison, of course, from my understanding. So maybe they're playing their cards closely to the chest in terms of making sure the short term doesn't crash the long term. You know what I mean? Maybe they're thinking a little bit more ambitious.
Core 2 definitely gonna be. It's definitely gonna be baller. Like, I can't say much, but it's gonna be flames. I'm just saying, chat. You know, everybody needs to really kind of be careful for how you gauge your expectations. Do not set yourself up for failure. I think it's okay to set your expectations high, but you know, if you walk into something, now we know.
And now that you've seen, you know what I mean. You know, just be careful. You know what I mean. That's
if you hear Prio episode coming and you're still in core 1, don't even think about it, man. It's not even worth thinking about.
Yeah, because I just don't know what to. I don't know what to expect. You know what I mean? I went back to the Boru and started to watch some of ReZero's, you know, old cuts with season 2 and or season 1 rather, especially the cut notably with Julius Blind fighting Betelgeuse, man.
That's
and
the standout.
I'm wondering, I'm like, will that atmosphere or will that moment be captured again? Or some level of it in terms of movement and just flow. Because that is a really good cut. But you know, I feel like one thing too is to keep in mind as well, you know, priority episodes, you know, they aren't defined by cuts. They're defined by a lot of things too. And this is why I was talking about like how like maybe the storyboard or the episode director, you know, I'm not sure how much more this content could have been elevated, you know what I mean? But I imagine that like, you know, if black flames were coming down on good stuff, man, you know, something cool could have been done with that. You know what I mean? It just really depends, you know. It's all like, headcanon for me, though.
It's like you said last week. in that a priority episode isn't about animation, it's about making sure that priority is given to have everyone on the team realize their vision.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean this with full respect to the people who made it, because it's a great episode. The vision was standard so far from what we've seen for the season.
Yeah.
At times,
and,
at times maybe above average, but most of it, not really.
Yeah. That's why I'm wondering. I'm like, did somebody just tell Ice that it was a priority episode, or is there an actual reason? Yeah, because you can't just go out and say that type of stuff, man. You know what I mean? Like people, the anime community doesn't know how to take this information at heart in a very thorough manner. You know what I mean? Like they hear priority and they're just like, man, the budget's going to it. They got all the big boys on it. And it's like, that's not how it always works. Sometimes that is how it works, but that's not how it always works. You know what I mean? JJK, when Sukuna fought Maharaga, that is how it works, because the director pulled personal strings and asked people that they are friends with to come by. Chancellor Vincent only participated on JJK that episode because he was asked to as a friend. Otherwise, he wasn't going to be there. You know what I mean? But that just makes you really think, like, what should we really kind of expect going forward here?
I also wanted on the record that if you're ever expecting JJK level season 2 shit from Rezero, you're lost.
Yeah, I would never. Like
that's never happening, and that's not like an indictment of the staff or anything. It's just that JJK was kind of it was
an anomaly.
It was an anomaly, and it's also an anomaly how that production even finished.
Survived.
It's an anomaly how all that shit happened. That is not the norm whatsoever.
Yeah, it is not the norm. If anything, I think White Fox has a solid record as far as I know of. Again, I'm still very much like looking into White Fox's history lately, because I'm about to go back and watch Katana Gatari actually this week. But I don't hear much about White Fox having like an inconsistency in terms of just getting a season done. Even now, Sengoku Yoko is pretty, like, today's episode was pretty darn solid.
I heard
and they're really deep.
I can't prove it, but I did hear Sengoku Yoko's production crashed.
I heard about that too.
Yeah,
I heard about that too. Yeah, I did hear about that.
And I was like,
if it did, you know what I mean? Look, I'll give it to them because they're right at the finish line. They're right there.
I heard that, and I was like, I mean, you guys wanted to do this continuous, by the way. That's all I'm saying. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, they set themselves up. I don't know why they needed more time, in my opinion. But I just hope that doesn't follow suit with ReZero, because ReZero,
the schedule's great so far.
Yeah, the schedule is great so far. It is, and I'm sure that they're probably like on the heels of wrapping up Core 1 at this point, if not probably already done for the most part.
I'm pretty sure Core 1 was mostly done by the time, even before Episode 1 aired.
Yeah, for all I know, they could be moving on to Episode 2 right now. You know what I mean? Just not moving on to Episode 2. I want to imagine that, like, halfway through the Core now, they're probably like pushing into mid-range with Core 2. But it just like you say, Rail in chat, like there was some good character acting, like Subaru's little antics. I did notice that too. As he was going at it with Capella, I noticed that. I was like, okay, he's moving his arms and being a little dramatic. That's cool. You know what I mean? I'm wondering if they'll continue character animation. Like will they bring that for Subaru's speech, man? Like, will they give that man the MLK energy he needs, man? I need. Listen, the way this speech is being hyped up, I want to be able to go on Twitter and be like, put this shit next to Commander Irwin. Put this shit next to, like, one of the best. You know what I mean? Like, I want that.
I don't know what to say, man. Don't let him get to you, man. That's all I'm saying. If this episode being a priority episode is anything to go off of, don't get too hyped, alright?
Oh man. I'm just excited, chat. I want this man to cook. I want the team to cook, but I don't know what to expect. I still need to see whether or not I'm gonna assume that Arc 5 pretty much takes place all in this one city. I'm gonna assume at that point. I don't see them changing places. I think that'd be too much for them to, like, for the archbishops to retreat and then they go hunt them. Like I don't see that happening. I think this is definitely a all-in-one setting arc, especially with the remains now having a huge emphasis on the destruction that could come if they are moved or attempted to be removed. I think this is an all-in-one setting now. So I'm curious to see now just how chaotic can this arc get. These new Rezero fans keep hyping, and most of them haven't even read it, just for parading what others are saying.
He's true. He's true. He's true.
Yeah, I believe it. I very much believe it, man. I believe it.
In fact,
I've seen.
I would wager about like 30% of the time you see someone hype something up in the ReZero novels, they have not read it. 100%. There's a 30% chance every time you see that.
That is a different level of egregiousness. Oh, man. I'm curious to see what Twitter... Let me see what people are saying about ReZero today, actually. I'm curious. I haven't seen any major opinions.
Pyro says 60%, which could be fair. Could be fair. Maybe I'm being charitable. Arc 6 Glazers haven't read Arc 6. That is true. That is true.
Yeah, I don't see too much negative about the episode so far.
It's mostly novel readers that are just like, oh, I thought. Oh, wait. Oh, the ReZero guys, this is literally just now happening. The ReZero Season 3 dub just came out. Like, just now.
I see that actually. I actually see that. Yeah, Crunchyroll's tweet.
Literally just now.
Sean Chiplock just tweeted. He's got it out. Nice, good for them. Good for them. They're moving fast. That's actually a pretty good rate then. Wow, they're only behind by 3 then at most. Not bad. That's not bad. Especially when episode 1 took a long time to get done. Probably.
Yep, we're back. The dub is back. Oh, dude, Chad's losing it, dude.
Hey, Chad, lock in, Chad. It's y'all's time. I need y'all to be throwing it back, Chad.
Sweet, man. That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I might go back and check out the dub in between our transitional period of...
Yeah. Can't wait to see what translations are recorded wrong. Yep. Here we go. I'm gonna see a tweet from Jarek in like 45 minutes that's like, this dub script is fucking dog shit.
It's not a oh man, actually, dude, I'm not looking forward to seeing how certain things are messed up, man, because we've seen lately how people are quick to boom translators and all that good stuff when it comes to dub casting, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's about to get nasty, man. Goodness gracious.
Wow, man, I can't believe it came out. Like, I actually fucking checked Twitter.
Yeah, right. Like, I'm just not checking myself to see what people were talking about today with Twitter.
Keith Silverstein Aldebaran, didn't we already know that? Wasn't he doing that in season 1 and 2, like, technically?
I think so.
You know, maybe Vortex is just really excited to hear Aldebaran, that's all. And I wouldn't blame you. I'll be there too. As soon as... Oh, I should skip to the Alcine later. Who's Julius? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that... Yeah, I think this episode is pretty much being received as, you know, the usual expectations. Anime onlys, enjoying it.
You know what's crazy?
Novel readers. What's up?
I think ReZero Season 3 currently might be the least popular ReZero's ever been.
Ooh,
at least that's what it feels like. I feel like it doesn't have that much motion right now.
Yeah.
I want to say when I say least popular it's ever been, it's still pretty fucking popular. But like,
yeah,
I don't think it's pushing the heights of season 1 and 2 right now.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I think, you know, especially when we look at, man, dude, when we look at like season 1, especially, man, ReZero season 1 was a phenomenon of its own. I slept on season 1 way back when. I wasn't a seasonal anime enthusiast like I am now. You know what I mean? Back then, I slept on ReZero. I remember the only anime I was watching back then when ReZero was airing was Mob Psycho. I remember that. And but I remember though that it was inescapable. Everybody and their mom was talking about how ReZero was the Jesus Christ of isekai, between Rim versus Emilia, between the Return by Death stuff, between how Subaru is like redefining the isekai mode for characters. everybody and their mom was on Rezero's like side. You know what I mean? And season 2 had some pretty strong momentum, especially with, you know, it's interesting for the Sanctuary to be such an isolated event and for it to be a little bit more calmer in comparison to this arc. It even that has some motion. I remember like people like DZ, you know what I mean? Also, you know, DZ was putting up platinum tweets back when season 2 was going on, man. I mean, I was too back in the day. It's been a long time, but
it might be a combination of another 4-year gap.
I think so.
Plus, I think, and when I say filter, I don't mean as in like they didn't get it. I think a lot of people got filtered by a 90-minute episode because it's a lot of time to commit to an episode of anime.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact that it wasn't like crazy bombastic immediately. The fact that it wasn't crazy bombastic immediately wouldn't like kill it if Dan to Dan wasn't airing at the same time.
Yeah, I truth be told, man, I still think you guys definitely have some solid competition this season.
No. I don't.
It's funny enough.
No, are you ready for this? I don't think it's competition. I think we lost A1.
Really?
I think we lost when Dan to Dan got leaked, bro.
Oh, that's no.
I've been saying this. Nobody wants to admit it in my chat. I've been saying it. We lost to Dan to Dan months ago.
I mean, I kind of have to agree, man, because once people found out Creepy Nuts was doing the opening, dude, that was raps, dude. That was raps. Unfortunately, I mean, it's like, dude, putting Rezero in a season, especially too, when there's like a bunch of like big shonen airing too, is like, you know what I mean?
Is that only
like,
globally though? Yeah, in Japan, Rezero is way more popular, but I'm also not Japanese, so.
Yeah, I mean, because down on the side, you know what I mean? Like, you still got Dragon Ball Daima too, you know what I mean? It's like Rezero is definitely not Dragon Ball. Like, come on, chat.
Yeah,
like talk to that about, you know, think about that aside, chat. Like even if I would still exclude Bleach. I think Bleach is anime of the year for Bleach fans and nothing more.
No,
but
you're 100% right.
Daima,
Bleach is not moving anyone like that. Let's be.
No. Bleach is anime of the year for Bleach fans and nothing more. He's gonna get robbed at the Crunchyroll Awards again, and it's gonna come and go. But between Dandadan and Dragon Ball Daima and like the shonen craze that has occurred over the past like 4 years, you know what I mean? And the standard has just been raised.
I do think maybe it's just in the West. I do think we are definitely over Daima. I think the ranking is like Dandadan, 700 Centuries of Emptiness, Rezero, Daima, maybe like a Century of Emptiness, and then Bleach.
Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely fair.
I was making a map because people really didn't want to believe that I was right. They wouldn't accept it. They wouldn't accept it that well, at first I thought that Dan to Dan was like our only competition and it might win because it's like it's literally like Lab created it to be popular. I don't actually mean that's a joke, by the way. And it surpassed my expectations. It is doing way better than I already thought it was going to do. It's not even close, man.
Dandanon's priority is next week too. I'm pretty sure one of their majors. Yeah, because it's the Granny Turbo stuff, and you know, heading out the tunnel and the run,
brother.
And the cut where like both the turbo heads kind of like overlap, and that one cut that's in the trailer is next week. So I know it's about to be.
I was making maps. I was looking at the comparison of Dan to Dan and Rezero, and Rezero was holding firm for 1 week.
Yeah.
And then the entire map went Dan to Dan, and I haven't even looked at it because I'm assuming it's still Dan to Dan, but it's been like 3 weeks straight.
Yeah.
People are also bringing up a good point that ReZero's marketing is fucking dog shit this time. I don't know if it was better last time, but it's fucking horrible this time.
Can we talk about how they put? Okay, see, I didn't. You texted me or you hit me up on DMs and you were like how. They keep putting like the most important stuff in their 1.5-minute long PVs.
Yes.
Why are they doing that for each episode? Why? What is their issue?
It's not even just that. It's that like Crunchyroll will post like the most embarrassing dog shit clip of an episode 3 days after it releases.
Yeah.
And then like every other anime, it'll get like the most fucking hype shit possible.
Yeah.
They posted they posted the Dandadan opening and they don't even have Dandadan. Isn't it like a Netflix anime? So like
yeah, literally, bro. Yeah, it's literally a Netflix anime, and they probably won't have the rights to put it on their thing for years. For all I know. They have to negotiate with Netflix to see if they can get the rights. But I don't know, man. You know, I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what will happen. Because again, I think that you guys, for the most part, will probably, if anything, will probably stand out a little bit more come January or
I
come
agree, yeah.
come winter 2025 anime.
I
Because
agree, yeah.
I think that like in terms of like stuff that people are looking forward to right now, it's like the Apothecary Diaries season 2,
Mhm.
Solo Leveling season 2, and then Sakamoto Days so far. But I think if anything, I think ReZero's action will end up clearing Sakamoto's if the prophecy foretold is to come to fruition. You know what I mean?
Um,
But
my hypothesis was that Dan will not remain this popular through its run. I have heard, you might have heard too, that later on in Dan there are some obvious production issues.
yeah. They
Yeah.
though they got it done, their scheduling was a little bit of a mess, but they got it done. They did get it done, but their scheduling became a little bit of a mess because you can tell by their you can't see them now, of course, but when credits start coming out, you can tell.
Yeah.
I won't go any further than that. But yeah.
So I think ReZero will win the long game, but I do think Dan wins by far. It's not even fucking close for this season. And then when Core 2 comes around, our competition will be Sakamoto Days. That's not as clear to me. So for Dan, I saw Dan and I was like, it's over. Like, it's over. Sakamoto, not so clear to me because Sakamoto is not a lab grown like Dan is. And I think Sakamoto is a very easy anime to fumble.
I agree. I very much agree because Sakamoto's fights have a formula of everything in the environment goes. But the question is, can the anime replicate that feel of everything in the environment goes? And so far, the trailers have not convinced people that they are going to really match that insanity vibe that is, every little environment, every little tool on the ground will be used. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of cool shots in Sakamoto. You know what I mean? I think a lot of the storyboards and all that good stuff will be cool. But I'm telling you guys now, I would not put too many stocks in Sakamoto yet. I think Solo Leveling will be better by a mile. Yeah. That's A1 Pictures, and A1 Pictures is literally magic crack. Okay, that's just not fair. But yeah, I don't know. I think you guys may be able to pull ahead in Core 2, especially if you guys are able to end off on a really high note in Core 1. But it just depends. You know what I mean? It really depends. Again, I mean, ReZero's 3 seasons deep, and it's like trying to compete with the shonen debuts of the new age.
Yeah.
It's like, we're in the point now where we're in the new age shonen debuts. You know what I mean? Blue Box, Yozakura Family, Dandadan, Elusive Samurai, Kaiju number 8. These are we're in the new age of shonen debuts. You know what I mean? And then Gachi Akuta being up next. You know what I mean? Like that's just we're in that spot, and everybody is always paying attention to what is going to be the new big thing, especially when MHA is ending next year, and JJK's probably got. Dude, I don't know how long JJK's got. I want to say 4 seasons at most, if anything.
Yeah.
At most, if anything.
Someone's pointing out that episode karma on the anime subreddit is pretty low compared to season 2. That's probably true. However, there was also an unprecedented global pandemic in season 2. So
yeah.
Data for a lot of things during the pandemic is like hard to judge.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can go off the top of my head a couple of series off the top of my head that suffered badly during the pandemic. You know what I mean? Especially production wise too. So it's just like, what people could see, what people were watching. You know what I mean? A lot of people had more time to watch because they were stuck at home.
Yeah, it's people use this argument in politics too when they're talking about like early voting. Like, oh, there was a lot more mail-in votes in 2020. I was like, I wonder why. Hope someone figures that out. It's the same for season 2 probably. It's just like a lot of people were just doing fucking nothing. So
yeah,
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, 100%, man. Because back when I was on campus, man, and everybody was inside all the time. I mean, I was there the minute ReZero dropped every day because I just had nothing to do. I couldn't go to class, bro. Like, what do you want me to do? You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of that data, like, while it's still technically valid, a lot of it is skewed because of the fact that, like, people are, like, forced to be inside, essentially. Not to take away from it, but, like, that's just the reality of the situation of the pandemic. You know what I mean?
feel like ReZero right now has a more dedicated core watch base than other anime right now. I mean, if Bleach is our competition, yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because that's the only competition, realistically speaking.
Yeah.
You're talking about people who was getting beat down for years, saying that their anime was canceled, and only for their anime to because Bleach's anime was never technically canceled, but for some reason that's like the anime community agenda. But now they come back with insane quality that's fairly consistent. Well, not even consistent, fairly cool, I guess. So, yeah, you know what I mean. I guess that counts. I mean, and you know, you guys are 3 seasons deep. That is the main thing. You are 3 seasons deep.
There's always going to be. You see this with all kinds of things, except for like movies, because maybe movies are easier to get into sometimes.
Yeah.
The longer something goes on, the less general appeal it will have, unless it's like absurdly massive.
Yeah.
Because like if you see like, oh look, season 6 of something is out, well, I don't feel like doing that shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally how I like talk about like with MHA. Like MHA had its time in the sun. You know what I mean? Now it's like settled in a more comfortable spot. You know what I mean? It's like even with the anime improvements this year aside, like it's had like 4. Like if anything, MHA had them like the most insane 4-year run. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's really good for a shonen that has to come back each year, especially. Yeah. That's really fucking good. You know what I mean? ReZero, it's 3 seasons deep, and like you mentioned, 4-year gap. You know, it hurts realistically speaking too, because like, why are you taking like longer than like some shonen series production too? You know what I mean? Like that hurts, man. That really hurts. We've had a lot of. If you really think about all the series that has defined the years of anime in the past 4 years, man, the competition is steep, man. You know, Mob Psycho, Bocchi. You know, like you could just go down the list. Like a lot of people have gotten into other things in that absence.
Frosty correctly points out that AOT got like massively popular after season 3 part 2. That's true. It's very possible.
Yeah.
It's not that like the longer a series is, it's dead. Because you also see the same thing with the MHA manga. Villain Hunt did exceptional compared to everything else.
One of the best selling.
So while you may see stagnation and sometimes decline as things go, there's also a chance that something happens where something happens in a season where everyone's like, holy shit, this is flames, and then it goes viral, and then all kinds of people are getting into it now.
Yeah, and that was definitely AOT season 3 part 2. That had everybody on the edge of their seats. Reactors were going crazy, jaws were dropping, tears were shed. I mean, you had the most you had dramatics upon dramatics for AOT, but ReZero just being gone for such a large time, man. You know, it's just like what was cooking during those 4 years? I mean, obviously we know. Yeah. But it hurts.
That's why in my mind, if this production doesn't collapse, I'm like, how fast are you gonna go? Because if you spend another 4 years, I don't know if you can recover from it. Yeah, especially if there are 4 cores with 11-week breaks between all of them. You can't recover.
Yeah, you can't. It just wouldn't work, man. I think that ReZero after this season, quite frankly, will just enter a very like cozy spot with its fandom appeal. I don't see it ever rising to the season 1 heights ever again. It would take like a phenomena unprecedented, but I feel like the phenomena that was season 1 and like the shipping stuff and all that good stuff, that was like you just had to be there, you know what I mean?
Core 2 needs to be, I mean, to be frank, and I know I just said this is possible, Core 2 needs JJK season 2 level shit to rise significantly.
Yeah, because like the writing is good on its own. Like ReZero can write itself laps around plenty of series. That's not the problem. It's just when you change your perspective to the general anime audience, right? You have to think about what the general audience loves, okay? And they love Twitter clips. They love clips. They love that stuff. They love seeing stuff move. They don't really care about the context majority of the time because the context they'll find out if they go watch the show. But just knowing the general Twitter audience, you know what I mean? You just know what is going to get people to scream about a show. And unless it's like that type of stuff where clips or moments that like kind of go crazy with like character acting and, you know, or just like insane frames and impact frames, all that good stuff, you know what I mean? Like it's just
you either need absurd Sakuga or you need a fantastic moment.
Yeah,
like the Reinhardt reveal in AOT.
Yeah,
because I wouldn't say that's necessarily a Sakuga moment, but it's fucking just like really well executed one.
Yeah, it's like all these years we've been waiting, and it just happens so calmly, and then shit just like takes off in the same episode. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
that's what ReZero will realistically need to get the machine moving. Because you're not gonna see people like you're not gonna see content creators who are already established talk about ReZero again unless they are ReZero content creators. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna see like you're gonna see like a Kin Nut talk about ReZero all season long.
Mhm.
Cool. You're gonna see also talk about ReZero all season long. Yeah, expected, right? But like people who are like Giga, who are like talking about like the Ram and Emilia stuff
Mhm.
and like really like waking the world up again, that's not gonna happen, man. They're just gonna continue watching ReZero,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean.
The
That's it.
the cultural phenomenon
Tell
has passed.
tell Chibi to get the animators. They need to go so hard for this tweet.
The cultural phenomenon of ReZero has passed. Not to say that
Yeah.
it's not popular. I don't want that to be the takeaway. It's very popular.
Yeah, yeah. It's just
But
not
it's
gonna have
not-
that global grip like it used
It's
to.
it's not the anime of all time anymore.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, we'll see, man. We'll see. But going into episode 5, it's gonna be interesting to see what people come up with, or come to what conclusions they come up with in terms of what core 2 may look like, what the rest of the core may look like. But overall, I'd say it's a good episode. So all things considered, it's just I hope people don't really ride the whole do not write the priority episode thing verbatim. Look at the staff, understand your staff, people. Do your research, read. All the information you need is on Sakagaboro. It's public information. Just go read. I promise you. Don't hesitate to go read, because that you will be able
That's
to
funny coming from you.
Okay, buddy. You'll be able to pretty much get your own expectations in check if you go do your research, because I'll know when to set my expectations high. But once I saw that storyboarder and then the episode director, I was like, okay, maybe it'll be like a B tier episode, and it pretty much was like a high B tier episode. Maybe I'll give it an A tier, low A tier. It was okay. Actually, no, I'll give
Had
it a
some
B.
good cuts. Had some good cuts.
Yeah, it had some good cuts, But the fact that Hamill's episode 2 cut clears, I mean, hey. But like I said, I'll be back next week. With the next staff list, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
See what contributes. See if anybody's new on the team. Maybe somebody
And-
will stand out.
Yeah, we don't know if episode 5 is a priority or not. We don't know anything about it, so.
Yeah.
Dorian was on this episode, and I didn't see any Dorian level stuff except maybe Typhon's Bones. Was that him? I don't know who that is. Jordan, do you know?
You talking about the regeneration scene? Oh wait, Typhon's Bones. I'm thinking about why does my brain just go there? Typhon's Bones. Let me see. I do not know. Yeah, that's not up there yet. That's something that wouldn't be. Hold on. Yeah, I know who Dorian is, because I'm pretty sure he's one of the people I did go. Yeah, he is. He's in my search bar. He's one of the people that I did go look at. Before this episode, and he's got quite a few combo cuts on JJK with people like Benjamin. He's got a couple of solo cuts. He's got a handful of One Piece cuts, handful of cuts on Black Clover's movie. Notably, he was on One Piece's most iconic episode ever, actually, for character animation, which is.
Damn. Somebody asks, does global popularity matter as much as domestic popularity in regards to getting more seasons? So there's a few aspects to this. One, no. They don't really care about the global community that much.
They acknowledge that we exist, but...
ReZero is a phenomenon in Japan. It's not really a concern at all. Two, most of the worries about global popularity are just like, people like it when their favorite does well. And also, I would like it if my videos were doing like way better than they are. Like, they're doing well, but like, fuck, man. Where's that season 2 aura?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, we'll just really have to wait and see, man. Who's my favorite character? Kenda, so far, and then Subaru.
Such a simp,
dude. She was cool, man.
I like
her approach to greed, man. I don't know, man. I like her approach to greed. It was sick. Best approach yet. She was cooking, man. I miss her. Come back to me, Akinda. We need you again. Tell us how to solve this issue in Arc 5.
I think the time between Core 1 and 2 where you could do some cool Season 3 related videos is where you could see views pop off. I don't know. Maybe like the week the Core 1 ends. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It'll be an experiment. It'll definitely be an experiment.
Because like, if you go to other Rezero YouTubers making episode videos too, hang on, let me look.
She's Jordan's favorite. Why can't you pronounce her name? What? Am I mispronouncing her name still?
Echidna.
Oh my god, I keep forgetting the N.
Like,
Echidna.
let's see. Fucking Echidna's season 2 videos were getting like 150 to 300,000 views.
Mm-hmm.
Echidna's season 3 videos are not cracking 100k.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah,
I feel like the decline is visible in that alone.
Mm-hmm. But anything can change, chat. Anything can change, you know? Anything can very much change. We still got a lot. We don't know what the arc after this season may bring. And for all we know, there could be a very quick resurgence of ReZero hype for whatever reason. It's all up to this team, though. You know what I mean? It's all up to the team. So.
Someone mentioned Annie News. Let me look. Hang on.
There's also 50 episodes to go through for newcomers, and it feels like daunting for people to start.
Annie News' season 2 videos were getting sometimes 500,000 views. His season 3 videos are barely cracking 100k again. So.
It's interesting. Like, man, let me go back. Let me just hold on. I'm just curious. Let's see. When did hold on. Let me see. I want to go back and see when did ReZero season 2. What season was this? Was okay. So ReZero season 2 started July 2020. That's spring 2020 anime season. If I go back to spring 2020.
Could it be a cumulative thing? Yeah, I'm sure some of those views are accumulated over the 4 years as well. So
no, that's summer. That's summer. Not there we go. That's summer. Yeah, see, even here, man, ReZero's competition. See, that's the impressive part. ReZero season 2 was going band for band, and they had steep competition back when season 2 was going on because that's when Fire Force had just aired as well that summer. You had God of High School coming out, and that was by Mappa, and everybody was glazing Mappa pretty hard at that point. And SAO was having its whole thing with Sword Art Online was having the whole thing with A1 Pictures, and then The Great Pretender as well, being a Netflix anime. But Core 2 was hype, man. Man, like when I really think about it, like, yeah, it is interesting, kind of change of atmosphere currently. But we'll see, chat. We'll see. This isn't doom posting or anything like that. It's just
what happens, man.
Yeah, it is what it is with anime, man. Sometimes certain series just get cozy under the sun. Sometimes they step outside and they get quiet. Others just ride a hype wave all the way to the end. Like, truth be told, I think like JJK is the only series that will be able to ride a wave all the way to the end that isn't One Piece.
Yeah,
but that just goes to show you how rare it is for a series to ever ride a wave all the way to the end. Like maybe Bocchi the Rock, sure, as a seasonal Bocchi the Rock, sure, and then JJK. But other than that, it's rare.
That is also
span should move on.
That is also true. Kanekawa did crack down in season 2 as well. Boomed a lot of people.
That is true, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
I am avoiding the boom perfectly so far, because I have resolved to never play a clip of an episode for longer than 2 seconds, ever. And I have used one clip of an episode for the past 4 videos.
That is true, yeah.
It is the only way to be boom-proof from Kanekawa's fucking trigger-happy ass.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what it is. They boomed my Shangri-La Frontier video too.
That's
Uh,
crazy, man.
I'm hold on. It's Kadokawa. Chat. Somebody confirm. Kadokawa is Shangri-La. Shangri-La, right? Somebody. I know one of you guys watch Shangri-La Frontier. Kadokawa is them too, right? I'm like 90% sure it is them. I could be wrong,
What if
but
this guy hears about fucking Google, dude? It'll change his life.
hey man, listen. I've done enough research today. Chat. Somebody confirm. One of you geniuses.
They don't know, man. They froze.
Oh my god, they did freeze.
They're Googling it for you.
It's Shangri-La Frontier. I can't tell.
No way, man. No
it's not an
way.
easy answer. Why won't it tell me? Let me go to the anime. Jordan asking. Okay, I am not sacrificing my soul to ask that question. Maybe not. Okay, maybe not actually. MBS, TBS. Okay, maybe not. But yeah, they're very strict on a lot of stuff. Chat. In conclusion, basically.
It's Netmarble, bro. No, it's the video game. Sorry. It's. Is it a manga or a novel?
I'm pretty sure it's a manga.
It's a publishing company. Let's see. It's a self-publishing novel place.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Kodansha. There we go. I think it's Kodansha. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, the manga is published by Kodansha.
Okay, yeah. They boomed me too. Like, those two places do not play around, dude.
I see.
They do not play around. But yeah, chat. When people get boomed off the internet with their videos, you know, it's very discouraging to keep trying.
It is.
But even so.
It is. They get me for Kagurabachi every time, man.
Oh, dude, yeah. I'm lucky enough to not have been boomed for Yozakura Family at all the entire 27 weeks.
I know, dude.
Like,
you're lucky.
I'm so lucky.
You were using Return by Death of that shit, bro.
Dude, I was treading on thin ice, man, every week. I'm surprised I still got away with certain things, to be honest.
Honestly, this is a correct point in chat. Any other series would have died if it was in Rezero's shoes. 2 4-year gaps, rough season 2 production, and bad marketing. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, man, we'll be back for next week. We'll be back next week, chat. Other than that, solid episode. I'm gonna take off. Go eat and let you guys have your web novel / readers discussion, man. It was a blast as always.
It probably won't be too long.
Yeah, man.
Trying to get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, I feel you, man. All right, we'll talk, man.
Bye, Jordan.
All right, later, chat. Later,
Bye,
buddy.
Jordan. What a fucking lunatic, man. What a fucking lunatic. Anime only, as you are no longer safe. We will do a brief novel chat room. Very brief. Very brief. Thank God that guy is gone. Let's talk about Aldebaran. Yeah, Jordan was kind of pissing me off. He wasn't talking about Al enough. Don't feel there's much to talk about this week? There's not. There's also not much to talk about every week for a novel section because there's no novel. Expected at least 10 pages of notes on it, but we didn't get enough. He's not open to talking about Al like that, I guess, man. Alright, anime onlys flee the country. We will be transitioning to a novel safe haven. 2 minutes and 25 seconds of Al screen time. You love to see it. You really count it? Holy shit. The anime only safe space sign is being taken down. There's nothing really to talk about, man. Episode 5 is probably gonna be exactly what Jordan is looking for because the floodgates are gonna open at the end of episode 5, probably. So, he's probably gonna be stoked about that. I'm expecting another good episode with Capella. The majority of reactions I've seen have been calling Al sus for knowing about gluttony. He is a little sussy. I hope Emilia's alright. You're not safe here. This is novel spoilers, man. Do we think Al is going to reveal this season? Episodes? I think it's going to be in the speech episode. Like I said last week. Because I mentioned that the line about that's very specific to the real world being used on Al. It's kind of necessary. I'm like, Bush, I knew it was coming. So my prediction for episode 5, obviously we're gonna have a little bit of them fighting Roy. Julius will stay behind. They'll go in. They'll do a battle with the dragon. Crush will fuck it up. And then Capella come. Oh, they see the flies. The flies might be pretty big. And then Capella comes in, stomps on Crush, makes her take even more L's. There's the Capella sequence will probably be pretty long. I don't know how much. I mean, yeah, that part will be cut probably. And then we'll have Garf fighting Kurgan and stuff. And this is where they could rearrange something, because they could have it so we cut to Emilia, and with the follow-up of the Regulus question and stuff like that, because at the end of that sequence, the floodgates start to open, and then we could cut to Garf, because in the novel it's the other way around. So then we can cut to Garf fighting, and then the water comes in, and Garf tries to catch Subaru, but he can't. My number, not number one as in this is my favorite, the number one ending spot, in my opinion, is that sequence I just talked about, the floodgate just opening. The second is Subaru waking up with Priscilla and Liliana and the dragon's blood stuff, and then he learns that the floodgate opened. Those two are probably going to be the ending. Can all that fit in episode 5? Absolutely. Yeah, Floppa's a strong number 2 believer. Dude, if we get an anime-only shot of, like, a shrouded arm, you know, like, shrouded in shadow or something, initiating the opening of the floodgate, oh, technically Al will be in the episode, and the episode will no longer be filler. So, the Capella scene alone will make 15 to 20 minutes, though, if we get full dialogues. Chat, can you name can you name 2 times that we got full dialogue in the Rezero anime? Did you see that anime-onlys were predicting Luis's existence on Reddit? I believe a lot of them were not anime-onlys. I'm sure some of them did, though, if they know Star lore, yeah. The R anime thread on the Rezero episode is plagued by a bunch of fucking obnoxious assholes trying to pose as anime watchers. It's really obnoxious, man. Because I keep going in there to stay more in touch with, like, what anime-onlys are thinking. And they're trying so hard to LARP, dude. Just shut up. God. It's definitely possible to speculate about it if you know, like, Star lore. It's just that a lot of them in there aren't predicting it, they just know. On top of that, there's people who don't know the LN changes. I saw someone mention Subaru talking about star names as if it got cut from the episode. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that Arc 5 is very different in the light novel, and it's leading to a lot of very obnoxious conversations. Did you discuss that shot of the witch's remains? Not really, I mean, it was cool. Very good shot. I never expected the light novel web novel changes to genuinely spoil a decent amount of people. I still think there's a decent chance Scarf gonna get spoiled during Core 1. Dude, someone's gonna make an episode video not knowing light novel changes and shit. And they're gonna be like, can you believe that a kid does here? And the anime onlys are gonna be like, huh? Literally, it's so over, I know. Think Theresia's name chapter will be extended length? I don't know how it couldn't be, to be honest with you. Shit is hella long, man. I said this on Twitter. Rezero fans don't know when to shut the fuck up. They want to, oh so badly, let people know that they're source material readers. Please stop. No one cares that you read a book, dude. You're not that cool for it. Pandora pulling up on Theresia. Dude, when Pandora pulls up on Theresia, Jordan is gonna go apeshit. I already know it. What fandom is good at not spoiling stuff? I was gonna say I haven't really seen that many spoilers from the MHA fandom, but also there's nothing to spoil in MHA, so I don't know. Who's my favorite character? Subaru, man. After JJK, I feel like every fandom just thinks spoilers build hype. And you know what the worst part is? Mr. Mango? It does. It does build hype. It also pisses a lot of people off. And it gets a lot of conversation going. What are my top 5 ReZero characters? Probably like Subaru, Al, Roswell, Bayako, Todd. Maybe. There are a lot of brain deads who say too much, but also part of the problem is the amount of easy to miss details and cut content means reactors, anime onlys, etc. ask for some of it. Yeah, but I feel like it's so easy to not spoil people. Like, I can understand occasional slip-ups. Like, I accidentally called him Kurgan in the anime only section. I was really hoping nobody in chat would say anything, because I didn't want attention drawn to it. But also, like, the name Kurgan doesn't mean anything to anyone, so anime onlys wouldn't give a fuck about that. Gotta call me 8 arms, yeah. How much bloat fat do you think the source material has that is okay to be cut from the anime? In these earlier arcs? Not really that much. Some, maybe like a little bit. Like, there are some interactions here and there I don't mind being cut. I obviously prefer them being in, but if they get cut, it's not a big deal. Um. Oh, I forgot to tell Sensei about the Ferris thing. I mean, he probably won't care that much anyway. But like, when you get into Arc 7 and 8, there's a bunch of fucking shit you can get that can get cut. He starts spinning in circles, dude. Jesus Christ. Rowan cuts Pog. The good thing about Arc 7 and 8 adaptation is that there is no narration, so like I don't have to hear about the sky being red or Vincent Valakia ushering in an unprecedented era of peace. Did you see the witch's resurrection shit? Unfortunately. The sky will just be red. Yeah, the sky will just be red. And you don't have to say it a bunch. If you're a White Fox, how would you go about adapting Arc 7 and 8? I would start my EX series yesterday. I would have left in the scene of Ferris being mad about the royal family, and I would have started the anthology series on the same day with EX1. Boom! Easy layup. And then after Arc 5 ends, you can do a Willogy series. And then you can slap on EX5 into another anthology series because that's when it's supposed to be read, is after Arc 5. And then before Arc 7 starts, you can slap on the EX4. If they get an EX series along with the If stories as a solo season, do you think it will hold? Cut the If stories, and then yeah, we're good. I do not want a drop of production or talent to go to an If. They're gonna adapt Tenpenshu before EX? Yeah, probably. I've been coping since Battle Ballad is getting an LN adaptation. We might get some form of anime, probably not though. No, it's just for Arc 9. How much hype do you think will happen if the anime ends with Rem waking up? That's definitely what the anime is ending on. There's a reason they're doing Arc 5 and 6. 100% that's why. That is the sole reason why they're doing it. Is because that clip is going to get posted to Twitter. 100,000 likes, okay? The gooning will be unstoppable. I couldn't say this to Jordan, obviously, because I'm not a fucking idiot. The clip of her opening her eyes, unprecedented amounts of semen will be spilled. I will be the one gooning. The REM industrial complex. Someone asked if they'll include the memory thing too. If they want to keep the trend of what they're doing with like the happy endings, I think that she will open her eyes, and that'll be it. I think anything about memories will be saved. For season 4. There's zero chance they keep any memory shit. It would hurt the bottom line, man. Will you be gooning? No. Not until Arc 7 gets adapted, and I can see Al again. Bro, I'm gonna be gooning in Core 2, man. When Al vs. Capella starts, oh my god. Don't get me started. Do you think Season 3 will contain any more anime original? Probably, yeah. Would you rather take Gooners or 14-year-old power scalers? 14-year-old power scalers. No, I don't think that fight had black flames, no. It was just him clumsily fighting and somehow not dying. Do you think they'll cut the lines that hint towards Al's RBD? No, probably not. They're leaving everything else in, so... Oh man, seeing Phase 2 animated, Arc 7 Phase 2, that'd be cool. Not sure about Al vs. Capella, most of it was dialogue from Al. You didn't read the fight. I need to know how about the men like JJK, that's the only way to save it. If they cut them, Novel Reader will just straight up spoil his authority and call it cut content. I know. If they cut the line in the Capella fight, I'll just be like, there was a line about how Al can die for real this time. I wonder what that means. And then I'll just move on. I'll also be pissed, but, you know. How do you interpret that line? I have not come up with a way to interpret it yet. There are just so many things about it that don't make sense. Microwave cat is so iconic, thank you. I set the timer for 3 hours, and then I start streaming. He's warm, he has his favorite low humming sound. If Sakamoto Days cooks us in January, I kill myself. We'll see, man. We'll see. We're just gonna have to accept that unless we get an absurd clip, we're not the top dog anymore. Luckily, I did not put all of my eggs into the Rezero basket, so... Is Garfiel and Kurgan better in the light novel? Every fight is better than light novel. But yeah, I was definitely hoping for some massive success with Rezero, but not to say that I'm not getting it. The Rezero videos are doing well. It's just not going to be the priority that I was thinking it was going to be. Didn't Garfield try healing Mimi when she got cut? Yeah, he did try that. I also left it in the video as if it happened. I didn't give a shit enough to cut it. It just makes Garfield look stupid that he didn't try. Yes, Soul it will be. It's like, if you look up ReZero Season 3, what happens? Oh. Hello. You get the Jake's video, the trailer, the Crunchyroll clip, the OP. Hey, it's me again. The ending, the trailer. Do what? And then there's like nothing, man. Reaction videos. That's what you get. Reaction videos and clips. I probably should have done that in incognito tab. Hang on, let me do that. Let me do that. Oh my god, it's so bright. Oh fuck. Please. Jesus Christ, okay. Okay, on incognito, it's still me. The trailer, an ad, a clip, the opening, me, a trailer, Jake's, reaction, preview, reaction, a missing person, reaction. Also, Jake's reaction, the trifecta of 2024 ReZero. We might be fucking washed, chat. It might actually be over. You got two 20k Andes with Jake's and I trying our fucking hardest to carry ReZero. I take it this is the optimal time to start a ReZero channel. If you don't want views, yeah, it is. It's possible this... I've only just started thinking about this, so I haven't fleshed it out. It's possible that episode videos are just not going to work this time. It just might not work this time. I'm still going to do them, because they're not particularly hard, but... I think of ReZero content that's done well recently. I think of the Nearly on Red Subaru video. That did pretty well from what I saw. My power system videos are doing pretty well. My Al video started getting more views. My Arcgate video did alright. What ideas do you have for general Season 3 videos? Let me go to my list. Right now I have Stars and ReZero. I have Observers, but obviously that's not an anime video. I can't really get to that one yet. An anime-only Al video, ReZero Tarot, regular Season 3 video, Subaru Season 3 video. I had prepared a video in the gun. Why isn't Subaru dying? I have one just titled Subaru is sexist, parentheses real. Given the reaction that I've seen on Twitter, might have to delete this one. Garf video, Love and ReZero. ReZero world building, but that's not an anime video, that's a big one. Time to watch LOTM Historian and Hundreds by providing actually accurate power system info? I already did. I already made 2. I also have a Priestella video planned, but that's also not anime only. You gotta do clickbait, vague ReZero analysis without mentioning ReZero like some manga analysis videos do? I'm not very good at clickbait, unfortunately. I'm not happy about it, but I'm not very good at clickbait. I was also gonna watch and make a video about Taipei's other series, Vivi, if Season 3 was doing, like, really well. Like, really well. But, I don't know anymore about that. Yeah, big flop, but the plan is any general analysis videos will be for the core break. Yeah, I'm not sure. The future is definitely interesting, chat. ReZero is not the crazy, explosive start that I thought it was going to be. Preying on Dandadan's downfall. You don't have to worry about that too much, man. Want to make a compilation of cut content in the first quarter? I mean, I could. No, it's not an issue of quality. Like, if it were an issue of quality, that'd be one thing. That might be better for views. Honestly, negative attention gets clicks. Yeah, probably. But I don't know, man. I don't got that much negative to say about ReZero. Not yet. I can't say that the start of my Arc 9 review, when that eventually comes out in like fucking 2 years, is gonna be very kind, but Just say censorship bad. How would you have marketed the anime compared to how it was actually done? I would have marketed it probably, unlike what they've been doing. I also don't have a marketing degree, so I'm probably not the best to ask for the specifics. Currently, the plan is we're gonna keep making the episode videos. Are you gonna make an Arc 5 review for anime onlys? I don't know. I have not thought about that. The plan right now, I'm gonna keep making episode videos. I only have 4 more to make, it seems. In the core break, I will be posting general Rezero analysis videos. In the meantime, I'm still working on other stuff. I'm still working on Arcade Phase 2. I'm maybe like 15% down with it. Maybe 20, I don't know. I'm working on an anime discourse video right now. I have a couple of kind of low effort videos planned because I'm going to be out of state for a little bit. I also might make a Silent Hill 2 video, but that's to be determined. When I make the Silent Hill video and it gets fucking 10 zorbillion views and I stop talking about anime forever, have you heard of Alan Wake? Yeah. I played the first Alan Wake a long time ago. Don't remember much about it. Please make Silent Hill 2 remake video. It's in the process. Who is my ReZero waifu? I'm an adult, so nobody. Theories for what they're going to show in the episode preview? Everything. Maybe the dub will pull more viewers? That's definitely a possibility as well. There is definitely a non-0% of the population that is just waiting for the dub. And now it's here. Yippee! I feel like media-oriented YouTube has gotten smaller or at least more fractured. It's possible. It's possible. I feel like people on media YouTube just like make super niche shit like 7-hour videos about like iCarly or whatever. And that's the shit that works. Background music reminds me of Invader Zim. It is Hearthstone Witchwood menu music. And now it's Gilneas. I have quite a few video ideas. The next one I really want to make. I talked about this on Blue Sky. By the way, I post on Blue Sky more than I do on Twitter. Because Twitter fucking sucks. I want to make a video that uses 60 FPS anime openings as like a launch point to talk about something broader. Dude, those 60 FPS anime openings are fucking vile. The fact that every time you look up an anime opening, it's like 60 FPS, 4K. Dude, shut the fuck up. Twitter doesn't suck, just the gender topics. Would you like to extrapolate on that sentence? Immediately, please. I talk about this in the weekly update. I also don't think anyone reads the weekly update, so I digress. I feel like a video talking about like watching a series that is like like the worst rated it can be would be really entertaining. And making a video out of that. Bro, it's always a debate on Twitter. Oh, should we? Oh, that shit. Okay, okay, okay. I thought you were gonna go in a different direction. All right, that's all. That's all I'm saying. What direction? Dude, I thought you were gonna be mad about trans people or something. Because all I see from my point of view is Twitter doesn't suck, just the gender topics. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Where are we going, man? I only started looking at Twitter a couple months ago, and it's even worse than I imagined. It's not great. It's not great. If you don't have anything else going on, I would definitely recommend making a blue sky if you wanna... If you wanna stay easily in touch with the shit I'm thinking and talking about. I post there way more than I ever did on Twitter. So much less pressure. So much nicer. Big Floppa putting the owl profile picture on blue sky. You know, I gotta hand it to the Rezero community this time, though, okay? When the anime wasn't airing, these streams were not even worth my time. I got like 30 or 40 viewers, and then I would do an MHA stream and get like 130. This week I had 140 at peak, I think. And obviously the anime only section's over, so now we're down to like 90, but that's fine. That's double. Do you think the beginning of Arc 9 could be reframed in the future to make it seem not so rushed? Yeah, as long as there's more content for those characters. I think for people like Yugurt, it's like fucked forever. But like, Yorna can have a chance to come back. Katya can have a chance to come back. The marketing was dog shit, because I'm gonna be real, I didn't realize Season 3 was out until you did a review of Episode 2? Bro. No way we're continuing the combo from last night. Wasn't me, man. I heard you and Snake were battling like titans. I didn't see the convo though. Whatever it was. One of my pet peeves is when people go into my YouTube comments to tell me that I forgot to talk about something. 9 times out of 10? No, I didn't. I didn't talk about it because it wasn't worth talking about. Like fucking Joey going, you forgot to talk about how the anime removed Ricardo's residence wife. No, I didn't. It wasn't worth putting in the script. I'm a man who values brevity. My videos are short because I talk fast and I get my fucking points over and done with, and then I turn the video off. Joey an actual person? Yes. I thought he was a joke for the longest time. He's not joking. Isn't he that Ricardo Gooner? That's one way to put it. Not very fond of disabled people and uses a lot of slurs. There was someone who commented on the episode 4 video who was like, this wasn't a priority episode. And I was like, yeah, it was. Trust me, it was. And now the comment's gone. Sad. Chat, do we have anything to talk about? Or is this the end? Is this the conclusion? Oh, you guys are just talking about fucking Star Megalo. Alright, we're done. Thanks everyone for coming out. Join the Discord if you haven't already, where we talk about Rezero and stuff. It's a great time. You can follow me on Blue Sky or Twitter. Twitter if you want me to be more professional and objective. And Blue Sky if you just want to see me shitpost. Subscribe if you haven't already. Gonna be making a lot of Rezero content and non-Rezero content, okay? Don't worry, don't worry. You can become a YouTube member. Look at all these funny little emotes you can post. You can post all these funny emotes, you get little badges, you get a color name in the chat and the Discord. Guardcar saying good morning as I end the stream. That's crazy. Your stars were bad. That'll be it, man. Thanks for coming out. Get a sticker. Garfiel. Yay.